1. I work in a deli chain in the southeast region of the US. We have a Pick 2 special where you can choose a combo of a half sandwich, half salad, half soup, or a side for a cheaper price than ordering a full meal. This may be important to note. The other day I had a lady come in and ask for a full meal and a sandwich and a side to go. But she only wanted half of the sandwich. I suggested doing our Pick 2 special so that she doesn't have to pay extra, and she agreed. The total rang up to be about $11, tax included, and it was $4 cheaper than doing the full meal. She then complained on why she was paying so much for half a sandwich and a side. I double-checked to see if I rang it up right, and I even got 2 of my co-workers to make sure I was telling her the right information. She rolled her eyes as she was giving me her card. Now this was during dinner rush, so of course there was going to be a wait. She was staring intensely at the counter while waiting for her food. Not too long after, while I was taking an order from a family, she pushed through them and asked me when her food would be ready. I told her politely that I'll check on it once I was finished taking care of the family in front of me. I gave them their receipt, and was about to fix their drinks when she demanded me to refill her cup, when it was 3/4 full, and made sure I don't get her drink mixed up with the ones for the family I was trying to take care of. Everything got settled, and I went on ahead and checked on her order really quick. On the screen, where it lists all the names and the orders, the time since I rang up her order and sent it to the kitchen was 3 minutes and 26 seconds. How are you gonna claim you've been waiting forever and then expect me to drop everything because you gotta go and therefore get first priority? Ugh. Anyways, thankfully the kitchen had it all ready and put it in the window. The way we bag to-go orders is that one person checks to make sure everything is okay before giving it to the bagger, and then the bagger gives it another check before putting it in the bag. I also want to note that the sandwich she ordered is always made big, so although some customers can mistake it for a full one, it was still half of it. I checked and bagged the order and gave it to her because honestly I was ready for her to leave. She went on her merry way. About 15 minutes later she came back with the bag open and everything in it already eaten. She approached my register and told me word for word, "I went ahead and ate before I continued on with my errands. I wanted to let you know that it was a full sandwich, but I only asked for half like you suggested with the Pick 2 special. I would like a refund." I'm sorry, what? At this point I just went ahead and got my manager because I saw no point in getting a refund for something that would have cost more than what she wanted. Later some of my coworkers agreed that she was acting entitled, and that she shouldn't have been complaining about getting a cheaper deal. So to the lovely Karen, please check yourself before you come back. 2. I was branded as sexist for being unable to give someone the key to our store toilet. This is for several reasons. Number 1, only customers can use our toilet. This woman was not a customer. Number 2, our toilet key was stolen a few days prior by another customer. We cannot access the toilet. No, I don't know why they took it either. So the story goes like this. Me is me, OL is old lady, CW is coworker. I work for a fast food chain. On shift, there was just me and another coworker, who was a woman. We were on shift dealing with some local brats who harass most stores in the shopping square daily. They keep trying to steal the chips. As they're trying to prove their obvious and false innocence, the woman comes through the door with a kind old lady face and a sincere voice.
"Can I get the key to the toilet, please?"
I move away from the issue of the kids while my coworker deals with them. I'm sorry, the key was stolen by another customer a few days ago. We have no access to the toilet. This answer was truthful and was better than going the customers only route, or so I thought. But I don't think any answer other than yes would have been okay for this entitled cow.
"But this is for medical reasons."
I'm sorry, nobody can get in because we don't have the key. Although she does have a medical issue, this excuse being supported by my coworker, that obviously didn't change anything. Saying it was a medical issue doesn't magically unlock the door. We repeat that the key was stolen, and we have no access to the toilet whatsoever, several more times. She starts shouting now. My coworker diverts her attention.
"So what do you do on shift? Just shit on the floor?"
"No, we just go to," and she names 4 other places in the shopping center with toilets, including 2 more fast food places, a supermarket, and the shopping square's own toilets open for everyone. but for some reason she had to use ours.
You're just ageist, sexist assholes.
What? We are just completely gobsmacked at this point, like, I'm male and my coworker is female, and so is the old lady. How can we be sexist in this situation? Where was she going with that? And ageist? Is that because we're both under 25 while you're like 50? Are you gonna pull that card? She did. But nothing came out of it. The old lady decided to try and find other ways of making us feel bad. She moves on to the issue we had with the two shoplifting brats.
And you're also accusing these good lads of shoplifting. It's disgraceful.
The two kids in the store are total brats. As I said, they harass the other stores in the shopping square and are the security's #1 issue. They frequently steal chips, cup drinks, and the loyalty cards and throw them around the square, just being wasteful and making a mess. Other employees from Burger King even asked us if we had issues with them. So they have a known history of fuckery. She turns to the kids.
Don't listen to these entitled twats. You're good kids and you've done nothing wrong.
The thing is, this woman doesn't even know these brats, and they were causing issues well before she arrived. I got out my phone to call security and let her know that. I'm just gonna call security.
Go on, I dare you, you coward!
As much as I want to tackle this bitch, I still have morals and love my job too much to lose it. So I just go ahead with the calling of security. Okay then. Dare. She is gone by the first word I speak to security. The brat kids also took a chill pill and soon left. Listen, people. If we tell you right off the bat that we don't have the toilet key, we are telling the truth. It's such a stupid thing to lie about. So take our answer and go do what you need to do in the other toilets in the area. I don't understand why people will try and get what they want even if it is unreasonable, just because the place and people working there is around fast food. You wouldn't do that shit in a Nando's, so don't do it here. 3. In my town, there's a small ice cream parlor and diner that attracts a lot of families. Most go for the ice cream, but they do have a small menu, like burgers, pizza, fries, that's it. Since the place is tiny, try 20 tables tops, there is only ever a single server. Also, the way the place is set up, there is the main section and an attached parlor that is usually closed off, but sometimes open. When sitting in each section, there is only like 3 tables that allows you to see into the other section. If you aren't at those tables, then you can't see that other section. Anyways, I went midday on a Saturday to meet friends for a quiet ice cream lunch. Luckily, no one was there when we arrived. We chose our favorite table in the attached parlor and sat down. We ordered, and our food got out quickly, only fries and ice cream. We were enjoying the peace and quiet when the bell on the door rang. We could not see the door from our seats, so we could not see those who had just walked in, but oh boy could we hear them. About 8 8-year-old boys and their parents had walked in. All the boys were wearing baseball uniforms, they were sweaty, and they were caked in mud. Instead of pushing together tables, the parents decided to separate the kids and the adults. So the kids got put alone at a table in the attached section, right next to me, and the parents were in the main section. And just to make it extra fun, they didn't sit in the empty tables that would have allowed them to see each other. Nope, the parents could not see the bastard children. These people stayed for less than an hour, but they had to have ruined that poor server's day. These people drove her up the walls, constantly ordering other dishes and sides, refilling drinks, wanting a different dessert, etc. Not only that, but those kids were nightmares. These kids sent nearly every dish back, threw food, got it all over the table, poured ketchup on the table, opened the salt shaker and poured it out, and more. The worst part for me was these kids were literally screaming. Like I could not hear my friend that was 2 feet from me. These kids were loud and just little assholes. When the server brought the food out, they got up and ran around her and nearly knocked the plates out of her hands. Eventually my ears hurt too much, so I wandered out to the main section to look at the ice cream. I looked over and I see the adults behaving nearly the same way. Their table was a mess, wrappers, napkins, everything was in disarray. They were also equally loud, just laughing, yelling, sipping their drinks, and asking for refills. I was appalled, and I was only out there for 2 minutes. When they all eventually left, the place was a war zone. No one attempted to clean up at all. The parents' table looked typical with all the dirty dishes and napkins, but the kids' table looked monstrous. They got mud, salt, sauce, and everything else everywhere. It took the poor server 15 minutes just to clean the kids' table. She had to get a mop and at one point had to scrub on her hands and knees to get the dirt away. I've never felt so bad. Me and my friends gave her all the cash we had. We talked to her while she cleaned, and even though she kept smiling, I swear she just looked drained and defeated. These people ran her around the entire time that she only checked on us once. Once before she got pulled away by them. I'm just glad that there were no other guests, and that we had already been served. She apologized for the service, and I just apologized right back. I can't believe some people actually find this behavior okay. 4. I used to work in a Mexican restaurant. I live in a medium-sized town, so we had a lot of regular customers that would come once or twice a week. One night, we were full and a reservation of 4 people comes in. The manager guides them to their table, and since it was my area, she tells me, "Be careful, they are assholes." Okay. So I went to the table and politely, as always, asked them what they wanted. They got chicken enchiladas and a burger. 2 plates for 4 people. Kinda odd, but okay. I went to the kitchen, placed the order, and when I walked back into the salon, the manager asked me what they ordered and told me that she was going to keep an eye on them. She proceeds to tell me that the blonde woman, will be an important detail later, came a few times before and she will always complain, find things in her food and get them for free, etc. The food was ready, so I took it to the table. They started eating. 15 minutes later, the blonde woman calls me. I ask her if she needs something and she says, "The meat of my burger is raw." I look at the burger and there was literally a little piece left. How odd. If it was raw, why would you eat most of it, right? Anyway, I tell them that I will make them a new one, and that I'm really sorry, not really, about it. Burger number 2, free, goes to the table. I made sure the kitchen cooked it so good that the meat was grayish, you know, as it gets when it's super well cooked. I take it to the table and give it to them. 10 minutes pass by and the blonde woman calls me again. I ask what they need. "There's a hair in my burger." Again, they ate more than half of it. The burger was open and there was a blonde hair on top of it. Nobody in the kitchen has blonde hair, not even near. They all have really dark black hair. And they use nets on their heads. And I do have blonde hair, but I used to wear it in a ponytail. That hair couldn't be mine because it was like platinum blonde and I have dark blonde hair. I told her this in a very polite manner, and she just loses her shit and starts screaming at me saying, "How dare you question what I'm saying? There's a fucking hair in here, and I want you to compensate me for the raw burger, and not for this!" At that point, the manager, who was seeing and hearing everything, approached the table and told me to keep doing my job with the other tables, that she was going to handle the situation. The woman kept yelling and saying she wanted a compensation for everything, that everything was disgusting, even though she ate almost all of it, and that she would leave a terrible review in TripAdvisor. Blah, blah, blah. The manager told them that she was only going to charge them for the drinks and the enchilada, and that she was sorry for everything, obviously trying not to tell her to fuck off, and told her again that the hair wasn't from the staff, since nobody has hair like that in here. They paid and stormed off, calling us names. When I went to clear the table, I noticed they stole a cup. Well, at least they were out. 2 weeks forward, the same woman walks in. It was her and a man. I immediately look at the manager and she looks right back at me. Fuck. I put on my biggest smile and go to the table. We were not that busy that night since it was the middle of the week. They ordered 1 chicken enchilada for both of them. She tells me, "Can you get everything right this time?" and laughed with the man. Okay, just breathe. I placed the order, and when it was ready, I left it at their table. She calls me within 10 minutes. What a surprise! I go to the table, and she points at her half-eaten enchilada. One of the rolls was open all the way through, and there was a huge piece of wire sponge in it. It wasn't even mixed with the sauce or the shredded chicken. It was literally placed on top of it. I look at the woman like, seriously, bitch? At this point, the manager was already next to me, looks at the woman and firmly says, "You placed that in there." The woman again starts yelling that we are crazy and that she could have died if she ate that, etc., etc., etc. The manager goes inside the kitchen and comes with a lot of wire sponges. Now raising her voice, she says, "These are the wire sponges we use here. Are they similar to that one?" They weren't. The woman started yelling, saying that she doesn't care, and that the sponge could have been bought at another time or place, but that we tried to kill her. At this point, everybody was looking at her with disgust. My manager took the plates and the drinks from the table. The woman screamed, "I'm not done with that!" The manager comes back from the kitchen and tells her to go away, that she wasn't going to charge her, but that she was banned for life, and that if she saw her again near the restaurant, she would call the police. The next day, a terrible review appeared on TripAdvisor, saying that we attempted to poison her with a wire sponge, and that even locks of hair were inside her food. She even claimed she was physically pushed out the restaurant by our manager. None of that true. 3 weeks forward, she tried to enter the restaurant. The manager did actually call the cops and placed a harassment complaint on the crazy woman. 5. So I work at the popular restaurant in my small town. We're packed every night. When we're not busy, we have open seating, but we are usually having to seat people and put others on a wait list. I love doing the seating at the restaurant, so that's usually my position. Anyways, I was at the front register where we seat people, and a group of 4 walk in. I greet them, and let the group know that all of our sections are full, and they will have to wait about 10 minutes. A man from the group started walking towards the section and said to me, "I thought I saw a table over here. Let's go have a look." He walks past me and I follow, but I tell him, "Sir, all our sections are full. You will have to wait a few minutes." At this point, I want to scream at him and say, "Oh, I didn't realize you were a trained staff member and have the authority to start seating people." The man walks around the dining room, realizes there are no tables, and walks back to his group. He apologizes for invading my job. Ultimately, he looks like a fool for not listening to me. There is absolutely nothing that bothers me more than customers who try to seat themselves when I have already told them there is a wait. If you are listening to this, please do not try to seat yourself if a server or host tells you that you need to wait to be seated. It is incredibly rude, and it ruins our day. Another instance that made me want to pull my hair out. There is a regular group of 6, let's call them entitled group, e.g., that come in every Saturday. They are extremely entitled because they have money. I do not care much for them. They come in one night on a Friday, our busiest day. We are slammed. We have the wait list going back an hour at this point. A man from EG walks up to me and asks, "How long?" I let them know it'll be over an hour since we're so busy, but they can order takeout if they don't feel like waiting. EG look at each other with eyes wide and look back at me, each trying to convince me to seat them first. I tell EG that I cannot do that. There are people who have been waiting for over 20 minutes just for a small booth. A woman from EG, who has always given me attitude, told me that she has an issue with waiting. I apologized and told her there is nothing I could do. The woman raises her voice and says, "This is bullshit. We are here every Saturday. We make reservations every week. You should know this." Now, I do not care if someone is here for the first time or their 80th time. You will still be treated as everyone else. I do not care if they have enough money to buy the entire restaurant. I will still treat you as every other customer. EG kept complaining to me and begging me to do something about the wait list, but I did not change my mind. EG eventually ended up filing a complaint about me. My boss told me that since they're regulars, they'll come back and not to worry about them. I do my best to avoid them now. Please be nice to restaurant staff. And everyone else, obviously. We are all people. We all have feelings. We are not getting paid minimum wage to be treated like dirt by customers. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates, number 59. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Reddit user Daylight Heartstring, who is the author of story number 2. Okay, we're heading into the weekend now. It'll be Saturday when you guys get this. Yeah, Saturday. And so I'll probably stream at some point over the weekend. If I don't, I will try and fit it in at some point during the week, though. I may switch to doing shorter streams. I might do like 2 1-hour streams instead of 1 long 2-hour stream. We'll see what works, but I will probably do it a bit later whenever I happen to do it. Okay, and with that I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.